It is being filled by the present company that is operating now.
You are refilling it now?
Yes.
Where is the example of it?
You can go to that side.
Implementary mining framework to a much more rationally ordered, organized mining.
Здесь стоят агрегаты.
On screen.
This is what these are
Errors occur in all the states of Nigeria, in all the local government.
Yeah. That's a very powerful analogy.
That we had a big job in our hands.
We must increase the level of beneficiation and processing locally.
The Ministry of Mines and Steel Development has, since the inception of this administration in 2015, made giant strides in taking the mining industry to greater heights. With this development, the expectation is that the mining sector can in the nearest future contribute over 3% of the nation's gross domestic product (GDP), as well as be the highest employer of labor after agriculture.
It means people. So it can generate over 100 to 500,000 employment. If you look at what we're talking about, the so-called artisanal miners and maybe in quote illegal miners here, you get to some places around Beningwari and Osun State, you find them in thousands, over 2,000, over 1,000 in just one mining place, just scratching the surface. Imagine when it is structured properly. Imagine when it is properly organized.
For this to happen, the leadership of the ministry, in the persons of Dr. Kayode Fayemi and Abubakar Bawobwari, have been actively carrying out advocacies and campaigns to generate industry buy-in. This is in line with a key action recommended in the roadmap for immediate implementation. As such, stakeholder meetings, forums of different sorts have been initiated or supported by the ministry so that its vision for the mining sector is made known to all involved. The importance of stakeholder participation and the advocacies that the ministry has embarked upon cannot be underestimated.
By carrying the stakeholders are now under obligation to explain to the general public, because stakeholders are representation of different constituencies. Like now, I'm representing the miners, and I have been involved in what the ministry is doing. I'm now under obligation to explain to the miners the real situation, and I should be in the position to answer questions because I'm part of what is happening.
The year 2017 for the Federal Ministry of Mines and Steel Development can therefore be described as a year when advocacies and active dissemination of the roadmap was embarked upon. The National Mining Summit 2017 was one such platforms for stakeholder engagement. It was a unique conference that brought together stakeholders in mining from the African sub-region together to rub minds, share ideas and compare notes on how to make solid mineral resources work for the African population. Organized by the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development in partnership with Afroset Montgomery and Deloitte Consultancy, the conference is to be a vehicle to place Nigeria prominently on the international mining calendar and beneficially attract great attention to Nigeria and the region. This much was stated by the Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, during the opening ceremony of the event.
We therefore consider it important to have a platform for bringing stakeholders in the sub-region together to share ideas and compare notes on how to collaborate in making our resources work for our citizens. Aside sharing similar geological formations, we have similar aspirations and face comparable challenges which make it imperative for us to work together as Africans. This is why our ministry has partnered with AfroSet Montgomery, working with Deloitte Consulting to host Coming West Africa in demonstration of our commitment to signaling the renaissance of our mining sector and to naturally take the lead in driving the achievement of the objective of the African mining vision, collectively and at the country level. It is our vision to use this annual conference as a platform to place Nigeria prominently in the international mining calendar and beneficially attract great attention to our country and our sub-region.
The National Mining Summit with the theme Unearthing Nigeria's Mining Sector was declared open by the Nigerian Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibanjo.
For us in Nigeria, this summit...
Speaking at the occasion, the Vice President spoke about the determination of the Nigerian government to diversify the economy via mining and the various initiatives being embarked upon by government to give the sector the attention it deserves.
We published a comprehensive roadmap for the growth and development of the Nigerian mining sector to guide and drive the restructuring and repositioning of the mining sector over the next 10 years. We have also secured funding from both domestic and international sources for investment in the solid minerals industry. From the public purse, the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development has been granted access to the mining sector component of our Natural Resources Development Fund for a sum of 30 billion naira, approximately $100 million, an intervention fund from the federal government.
While congratulating the ministry on its achievements so far, Professor Oshibanjo stressed that regional integration was key to unlocking the many potentials in the region. Various messages were taken from representatives of several mining jurisdictions like South Africa, Kenya, Ghana, China, and Australia, as well as financing bodies like the World Bank, among other investors. A tour of exhibition booths by the Vice President closed the opening ceremony.
I believe so, because when you look at the duration, it will take. Because what
The Nigerian Mining Week was yet another forum hosted by the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development in partnership with PricewaterhouseCoopers PwC and the Miners Association of Nigeria. The 2017 edition was the second in the series, and true to its objectives, the forum provided a high-level strategic mining investment platform linking investors, project developers, financiers, technology providers and government to share best practices and demonstrate the latest strategies to evolve the sector successfully. It had the theme, the mining industry as a tool for industrialization, and the minister addressed his speech to the efforts the ministry is making towards putting Nigeria back on the global mining world while enumerating some of the achievements recorded so far.
A new partnership has been forged with the Ministry of the Interior and the Nigerian Police Force, as well as the Department of State Security, to establish the Mine Surveillance Task Force. This has led to a number of high-profile arrests of expatriate illegal miners and their Nigerian collaborators. There is also significant improvement in the ministry's capacity building and career development initiative. The Mining Cadastral Office administration of mineral titles has also improved. The Cadastral Office has now met the target of consistently issuing licenses to applicants within 30 to 45 days as stipulated in the Nigerian Mining and Minerals Act 2007, provided the applicant has fulfilled all statutory requirements.
Also speaking at the event was the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola. who harped on the synergy that exists between the mining sector and his ministry in the delivery of key infrastructure to Nigerians.
Now, in terms of how infrastructure helps the economy as a whole, I will try and just speak to a few points. Our Ministry of Power Works and Housing, if you add the Ministry of Transportation under Governor Amechi to it, can easily pass for Nigeria's ministries of infrastructure. Now, but know that whether it is power from our cables, our coils, which are copper-based, aluminium, conductors, porcelain, which are silica-based, our stanchions for transmission towers, which are steel-based from iron ore, there's very little, if any, thing that we can really do in the power industry without the mining sector. There's very little, if any. And as we roll out transmission stations, we roll out towers, we install transformers, whether it is steel casing for the transformers, whether it is the copper winding inside it, all of it draws from the operations of the mining industry. Almost all.
30 billion out of this money.
Other speakers at the 2017 Mining Week included the president of the Nigerian Miners Association, Alhaji Shehu Husani, country senior partner for PwC, Mr. Uyi Akpata, the Taraba State Governor, Darius Ishaku, stakeholders from Ghana and the Democratic Republic of Congo, amongst several others.
It's easy for one to say there's not been any major differences. This is not like agriculture, you have one planting season, then you see all the rice and metric tons. But what has happened over the course of the past 2 years has been gradual building of institutional frameworks, bringing together all stakeholders, and I dare say we have a realistic basis to say we have a platform to be going forward, and I think that's why we have guests from different countries now coming and recognizing that there's a state of play in the mines and steel sector in Nigeria.
This time around, it was a known story that 30 billion out of this money has been approved. Part of it is now, being assessed. The Bank of Industry and the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development has made a giant stride at addressing the most critical challenges that is posed in the sector, and that is the challenges of ASA, artisanal and small-scale mining.
A tour of investors' exhibition stands was undertaken by the Minister and the Minister of State of the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development, the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, in company of other guests.
US recommended retail price. This is the hint, 36%.
So you can make informed decisions on the spot.
The unveiling of the GEMS tree was one of the high points of yet another platform for collaboration between the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development and the African Gemstones and Jewelry Exhibition and Seminar. The 2017 edition was graced by the wife of the Vice President, Mrs. Dalako Oshibanjo. She took time to admire the various gemstones put on display by the organizers of the event. Earlier, while making the opening remarks, the Minister of State, Honorable Abubakar Baobwari, had stated that the theme of the exhibition captures the value addition drive of the ministry.
The theme is up and it seeks to address the value chain of the gemstone industry, that is, exploration, mining, cutting and polishing of jewelry, thereby promoting the culture of adding value to our commodities instead of just selling them raw at giveaway prices. I want to congratulate the organizers, especially the conveners, Botana Amina Ibatu and Juma Mohammed Oloide, for creating this platform to attract investors for the amazing gemstones and jewelry industry in Nigeria.
The minister, on his part, had applauded the spirit of the conveners, saying it is in line with the ministry's vision of growing the mining industry in Nigeria.
These two young ladies represent the true Nigerian spirit of creativity and excellence. Our ministry is pleased to work with them on the staging of this conference in collaboration with other industry stakeholders. That is the essence of the GEMSTONES exhibition, to bring stakeholders together to discuss how to grow this specific segment of the mining industry. The roadmap for the sector identified gemstones amongst the nation's diverse mineral resources as high-value commodities that have the potential of significantly contributing to our priority goals of economic diversification, wealth creation, and jobs creation.
Wife of the Vice President, while delivering the keynote address, expressed the hope that the exhibition will help the mining industry and miners themselves get the best out of the industry.
The focus today is from mines to markets, and the questions that arise include the ways in which growth can be achieved in the mining sector and in the value chain that proceeds from exploration to mining all the way to the markets. There's potential for growth in every part. I trust the aim of this seminar and the exhibition is to seek out a way to ensure that from mines to market, it is a win-win situation for all, and we have no losers.
One level of engagement identified in the roadmap as being critical to its success is that between stakeholders at the subnational level. This includes state governments and communities. This inspired the establishment of the National Council for Mining and Mineral Resources Development. All commissioners in charge of mining and mineral resources from the 36 states of the Federation are members of this council. The maiden edition of the council meeting, which held in 2017, was a huge success. The attendance spoke volumes about the commitment of stakeholders to growing the sector. The sessions were robust as speakers did justice to the wide range of topics covering issues of policy, monitoring, governance, as well as solutions to the challenges in the sector. The council was chaired by the then Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Muhammad Abbas.
The important thing is to divest political interference from operations of the mining sector. The important thing is to give confidence to the investor that his investment will not be affected by political decisions, that his investment policies along the way will not change suddenly to affect his investment.
Delivering his speech, Dr. Kayode Fayemi restated this administration's drive to diversify the economy by focusing on mining, while emphasizing the importance of broad-based collaboration amongst all stakeholders.
Indeed, the very impressive turnout at this event is both a testament and a promise. Your own positive response to our call is a promise of greater impact and achievement in the sector, because progress is the expected outcome when all stakeholders in the sector are aligned with one vision and energized to achieve a set of goals. This is the essence of the National Council on Mining and Mineral Resource Development.
Host Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mohammed Bello, was also on ground and gave a brief speech.
I sincerely hope that what we are starting today will serve as a foundation of a revolution, building up on capacities that we already have in the nation and what has been done before, so that really we can truly diversify our economy to be able to get the best out of our God-given natural resources for the development of our teeming people.
The maiden edition of National Council for Mining and Mineral Resources Development ended with the adoption of 36 recommendations reached during the 3-day event, some of which include: there should be synergy between the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development and the state governments to improve operational collaboration and enhance communication for effective execution of the roadmap for the growth and development of the mining industry. Value addition of minerals for local consumption and export should be prioritized for implementation in the roadmap. All mining activities should be operated under the minimum health and safety standards as stipulated by the International Labour Organization (ILO). Current efforts at bringing Ajakuta Steel Company Limited and Aluminium Smelting Company of Nigeria should be invigorated, and every effort should be made by government to revive moribund steel plants and promote private sector participation in steel development. The next edition of the Council meeting is scheduled to hold in the first quarter of 2018. One other tool for advocacy and sensitization the Federal Ministry of Mines and Steel Development has employed is the media. The ministry has adopted accountability to the media and by extension the whole world as part of its action plan to reposition the mining industry for prosperity. A tradition that started in December 2015, the third edition of the ministry's annual end-of-year press briefing held on the 21st of December 2017. In his address, the minister briefed the press on the journey so far and the successes achieved.
In 2017, the mining sector featured in the story of our journey to economic recovery and consolidation. For example, in reporting the GDP figures for second quarter 2017, the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics indicated that the economy grew by 0.55%, largely attributable to improved performance of not only the oil and gas sector, but other economic activities like mining and quarry. The mining sector grew by 2.24% in that quarter.
The Honorable Minister closed the year 2017 by giving an insight into what 2018 holds for the ministry.
The Nigerian mining industry therefore holds a promise that we will continue to work harder to deliver. We expect to sustain the growth trajectory we have achieved by stimulating new exploration activities, as I indicated, increase production from active mining, and that is already happening. When you look at the tin sector, if you look at the lead zinc, if you look at the statistics not coming from us, statistics from the London Metal Exchange, statistics from the International Gold Exchange, you will find that increasingly Nigeria is becoming a big player in some of these minerals in the international market, and we can only build on that.
Active stakeholder engagement, aggressive advocacy and sensitization initiatives, and a very visible display of commitment to the task at hand. That is what the Federal Ministry of Mines and Steel Development has shown in the last 2 years as it leads Nigerians on the way to shared mining prosperity.